Hey yo, what is poppin'? It's your boy Whiteout, and today we are going to be watching the 6 most disturbing camping encounters caught on camera. That's a lot of C's, but we got it done. That is exactly right, though. We are going to be watching some messed up, some freaky, maybe some scary, maybe some sinister encounters that people have captured on camera while they were camping. This might be insane. We've watched some crazy, some disturbing, some weird, some downright mischievous acts before. This could be crazier, or this could not be as bad. Hopefully we give it benefit of doubt. But let's lock in for this right now.
In April 2019, a YouTuber named Jason uploaded a video to his channel, Abbey Mountain Trekkers, in which he recorded footage of his solo overnight trip to the mountains. His channel is dedicated to all things outdoors, in which Jason frequently uploads videos of his adventures hiking, camping, and surviving in the woods. In this particular video, his hike up to the mountain is pretty uneventful, and as soon as he arrives at the campsite, Jason begins setting up his tent and shows his viewers how he...
That is not a tent. First off, that is not a tent. That is a freaking house he's building. That's not a tent. You don't just like pitch that up. That's not something you walk up at the mountain with you. I'm going camping this weekend. Come on, kids. That's not something you bring the family. Like, this is something you bring the family to vacation. This is not a tent.
Starts a fire as the sun begins to set. As he waits for the day to end, he tries his luck at spoon carving. And this is when he reports hearing a strange sound coming from the top of one of the mountains, but he writes it off as a bird or some other small animal and continues setting up for the night. At about 9 o'clock, he turns his camera off to go to bed, but less than an hour later, he wakes up to a strange sound that he says he's never heard before in his life. He mentions it sounded like some sort of guttural animal call, but because it came from pretty far away, he couldn't identify what it was.
I'm still rattled. I've never heard anything like that in my life. It sounded like a mix between almost like a pig, some kind of, I hate to even say it, but a pig, an ape, and the calls almost sounded like how the velociraptors.
You know what I bet it was? I bet it was an elk. Have you guys ever heard of how an elk sounds? They are freaky. They sound like a demon. I bet it was an elk.
Communicate with each other on Jurassic Park. I've never heard anything like that in my life.
I hope he has it. I hope he
Still
captures
shaken
it.
after the rude awakening, he tries to go back to bed, but just a few hours later at around 1 a.m., he wakes up again to what he describes as the sound of something or someone circling his tent.
Whatever it is, it's close.
That's a light. I was wondering what that was. It looks like he's opening a void. It looks like we're in space and he's opening a void with his hand and he's peeking out of the void. Like, I was like, what is that? It's his headlamp. Distant footsteps.
You hear that?
Yeah, I can hear footsteps.
Whatever it is, it sounded like there was 2 or 3 of them, and it started on the other side of my camp, went around my perimeter.
I feel like camping's just freaky in general. Like, look around. You're in the woods. Like, everything could go wrong. Everything could go wrong. Oh, I've never been camping. I don't think I've ever been camping. And, like, not, like, real camping, right? Like, there's, like, you go to a campground and you camp. I don't consider that real camping. I consider, like, you go into the woods like this. Nobody knows where you are. You barely know where you are. You go to bed. You wake up. You leave the next day. That's what I consider camping. That's true camping. And, dude, that's freaky. That's so freaky.
If you look closely at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, you can see the reflection of what
Oh my
appears to
God.
be 1 or 2 sets of eyes as he pans
Oh my God, you can.
the left-hand corner of the
What is that?
screen. You
What is that? Well, there's 1, 2, 3.
can see the reflection of
Okay, there was another one right there,
what
I think.
appears to be 1 or 2 sets of eyes
Ooh,
as
that's
he pans
weird.
his flashlight over
What
them.
is that?
Although there are many animals with eyes that reflect light at night, based on the fiery white color of the reflection, it's very likely that Jason was being observed by wolves or coyotes. Dog's eyes will also give off a white reflection, but considering that it was around 1 a.m. when this happened, it's unlikely that a dog would be walking around in the mountains so close to his campsite. Coyote and wolf attacks on humans are rare, as both species tend to avoid human contact, but they can still become very aggressive if they feel threatened, especially if they have pups nearby. If this were the case, Jason would be in grave danger, but chillingly, he doesn't even seem to notice the eyes watching him as he scans the area with his flashlight.
If he saw the eyes, what would he do? Does he have, like, any sort of things to fight them off? I mean, he's probably, like, big enough where he's like, and then they run away, I'm assuming. But sometimes they don't back down. Some animals don't back down. They're like, I ain't afraid of this bigger creature. They're like, I'm not afraid of that. I'll still square up. And at that point, I don't know what he's going to do.
Luckily, he went back to his tent and slept safely through the night. When he woke up the next morning, he recorded another update for his viewers, but he never mentioned the eyes that his camera had captured the night before, suggesting he might have never noticed. After this video, there were no additional updates on the incident. In 2021, YouTuber Matt Field spent the night in a dark cave in the middle of nowhere in Australia after his friend told him about an unsettling experience he had in that cave and dared him to spend the night there alone.
What a good friend. Dude, I had the scariest night of my life in this cave. I dare you to go do it, but you have to be alone. I don't know if his friend was alone, but really? What a good friend.
His channel is a bit more extreme than other outdoor exploration channels, and his videos often feature him leaving civilization behind and going to remote locations for days, living only off the fish he catches and the animals he hunts. In the video, he mentions that he didn't bring any water to the trip, hoping to find water to drink in the cave. After about 4 hours of walking, he finally finds the cave and climbs down the man-made ladder inside. Venturing deeper inside the cave, Matt crawls into the different holes he finds to see if any of them lead anywhere. Around this time, he started hearing a couple of rocks falling near the entrance and the sound of some sort of animal walking around. At one point in the video, he mentions he feels like he's being watched, and things get a little more disturbing at around 11 p.m. when he begins to eat his baked beans for dinner.
He brought baked beans, but he didn't bring water. Why aren't we bringing water? Why? Like, I get it, you want to, like, try to find some on your own. Just in case? I mean, water's a necessity, more than baked beans.
That is beautiful. Baked beans in a haunted cave. Oh my God. That was the sound. That is the sound. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it.
Look at my arms. I got
it's the sound of what?
Goosebumps. It's the chains moving when I climb down the ladder.
That is terrifying.
It's a big,
oh my God,
heavy, thick chain. Wind can't move that.
That is terrifying.
Holy.
It's a bear, imagine.
When Matt recorded this video, it wasn't a windy night at all, and the fact that the chain is moving can only mean that there's someone or something down there with him.
That chain moved just then. It is 100% now. I heard it before. I'm 100% certain it's the chain that I walked in, that you climbed down into this cave on. It's moving.
Why is he yelling?
You can't move that chain with wind. It's way too heavy. There is no wind coming in here. There's no...
Why is bro yelling? He's like, I swear to God it's the chain. Like, I swear to God it's the chain. I don't know what's happening. I hope that there's nobody here. But you're yelling, and caves echo. So whatever that thing is can most likely hear you. I don't know if yelling is the best way to go about it. I was going to say most something, but I don't even know what would go after most. Best way to go about it.
No wind even fork up. Holy...
Dude, that's messed up. Something's coming after you, bro.
Oh my God. You must have heard that just then.
That's messed up.
Look at my arms, dude. Oh, this is fucked.
Call it a day, bro.
Okay. Well, I've got my backpack back on, and I'm booting on out of here. I just heard a sound. It's not normal. It's definitely not a normal sound, and I'm scared. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably about 2 hours, 2.5 hours after I checked in with you guys, so it would be around 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, and that sound was not normal.
Is the smarter move leaving, or is the smarter move staying? Like, because it's 1 o'clock in the morning, right? So you have about 4 hours, potentially 5 hours, till the sun comes up. right? I'm assuming they're on the same time frame as us, where sun comes up at like around 5:30 to 6 a.m. So would the better way be like just sitting there for 4 hours until the sun comes up, or would it be to leave while it's still dark and you can't see anything? I'm not sure. I'm not sure which way the grass is greener on. I don't know. I don't know which side, but I just feel like leaving might be a little sketchy at this time.
I'm getting out of here.
It might be the better way to do it, though.
After the creepy noises subside, he changes his mind about leaving the cave and decides to spend the rest of the night near the entrance.
Why?
A couple of hours later, he reported hearing hissing sounds that sounded like human voices, but after walking around the cave, he couldn't find anything that could be making those noises. Aside from big animals, the worst thing that could have happened to Matt is to have come across a hostile squatter living in the cave, although it's unclear why anyone would want to live down there.
What was
Fortunately,
that thing that he was looking at? What is this thing?
Aside from big animals, the worst thing that could have happened to Matt is to have come across a
What is this thing? Is this like a stalactite? I don't know.
hostile squatter living in the cave, although it's unclear why anyone would want to live down there. Fortunately, he made his way out of the cave safely as soon as the sun rose, and never went back to that cave again.
I don't think leaving was
Roadie
the
is a
worst
channel
idea.
dedicated to off-the-grid living, in which the uploader usually posts videos about what life is like living out of his truck and traveling around the country. The videos are usually pretty cool, with an emphasis on the beauty of nature and independent living. But this particular video is a bit more disturbing than the rest.
Ooh,
In December
creepy already.
2017, Roadie uploaded footage of an incident that took place earlier that year while he was car camping in a parking lot. At around 1:30 a.m., a hooded man started walking around his truck and taking pictures of his license plates. Because the back of the truck where the uploader was sleeping was pretty much pitch black, the man probably didn't see anyone in there and continued to suspiciously walk around the truck for several minutes, unaware that he was being recorded. After a while, the man makes his way to the side of the truck and tries to shine the flashlight inside, which is when the uploader decides to take action to protect himself and let the man know he's there.
Oh, dude, that's so creepy. That's so creepy. There's just a random dude like looking in your car while you're trying to sleep. I'm sure he's trying to like steal the car, or maybe steal stuff inside of it, or maybe it's like he's not supposed to park there and the guy's trying to see if there's like somebody sleeping inside of it. That could be a case, and he's taking pictures of the license plate to be like, this person's not supposed to be here. I want to report it to the police. That could be a good case. Actually, that really could be. Thinking.
Immediately after the uploader bangs his fist on the inside of the truck, the suspicious man runs away. It's unclear what exactly he planned to do, but based on his behavior, it couldn't have been anything good, and he was probably planning a carjacking. Fortunately, the uploader was able to get away safely and spend the night elsewhere. Gary and Amica are a father-daughter duo from Scotland who make videos about their travels around Europe in their camper van. The videos are usually pretty wholesome and entertaining, but in this particular video, Gary and Amica had a pretty disturbing encounter. This footage was uploaded in March of 2023 during a trip to Tensmuir Forest in North Fife, Scotland. As they were walking through the woods, Amica told her dad she heard voices somewhere near them, and after searching for a while, this is what they found.
We just stopped and had a look in these woods.
Oh no!
Look at how scary that is. Put the torch on.
Oh my god!
Here's even more ladders.
Oh, there's someone lying on the ground. Without
Falling over. Look at the one on the...
What if like one of them just started running? What if one of them was just a real person hiding beneath all of these mannequins? Dude, that's terrifying.
Ladders going up the tree.
Oh yeah, that's creepy.
What about the washing line over there to the left? Yeah, there. Keep it there.
Oh my god, that's so creepy.
That is weird, isn't it?
There's one over there that isn't actually a person. There's a doggy there.
In addition to dozens of creepy mannequins
that's
dressed
so
up in
weird.
costumes, they came across some pretty unsettling paintings hanging outside the little cabin in the middle of the woods. I did some research and found several other channels that featured the strange cabin, but the only information I could find was that the mannequins and paintings were probably set up there at some point in 2021. It's unknown what exactly the purpose of all this is, but whoever set it up clearly went through a lot of trouble to make it as creepy as possible.
Yeah, they did
As
a
Gary
good
and
job.
Amica make their way out of the woods, a car starts to approach them from the other side, and Gary starts to get a little freaked out. Fortunately, they were able to make it back to the van without having to cross the car's path. As of this
that's
video's
good.
upload, there have been no further updates on the creepy discovery.
I wonder if that's just like some art thing that somebody did. It's like those people that leave like Halloween decorations up all year round. It's like, dude, why? Why is this here? You know what I'm saying? But no, this is weird. I feel like it's like one of those things where it's like some guy wanted to make some artistic type thing and put it in the woods and be like, look at my little cabin and all this stuff. It's art. And in reality, you're just like, dude, this is messed up. This is weird. That's what I think. That's weird. Ugh, that's weird.
In 2018, a YouTuber named John uploaded this video to his channel Lost Lakes, in which he posts about his backcountry camping adventures in Canada. The video was taken at around 3:30 a.m. at a remote location west of Chapleau, Ontario, where, according to John, there was no cell phone signal.
Well, I am living every solo camper's nightmare right now. There appears to be an animal of some kind pacing around my tent. It's the middle of the night. And then around 3:30, I started to hear this pacing sound. And 45 minutes later, it's still just pacing around out there.
Does he have a weapon? Does he have a weapon? And also, would the flashlight affect whether or not that animal goes? Because I feel like if the animal saw a flashlight, I don't know how an animal would be. If it was a person, right, a person would know that the person's awake. Does an animal know that there's a person like that's awake in there if they have a flashlight going off? I don't know. But I feel like the flashlight could draw more attention, which would make it stay around for longer.
He was camping in a remote location in the black bear capital of the world. It's very likely that there was a bear or some other large animal outside the tent. Although it's rare for bears to attack campers, it has been known to happen. Other animals such as moose or wildcats can also pose a threat to campers if they ever feel threatened or provoked, and in those cases, a feeble camping tent won't offer a lot of protection against an angry 600-pound animal. It's much more common for people to be harassed by other people than by animals, but in this case, the footsteps don't sound very human. To maintain sanity, John shows his viewers the things he brought along on his camping trip to protect himself against animals, which include a hatchet, bear spray, and an air horn. Near the end of the video, he mentions his car is right outside the tent, but he can't find his key and probably left it in the car.
Dude, cars lock after a little bit. Imagine his key locked in his car. Ooh, that would be bad. That'd be bad news bears.
But in the end, he slept through the night safely.
Bears.
He never found out what exactly was walking around his tent that night. Most campers will say they're more afraid of running into ill-intentioned people rather than aggressive animals on their camping trips, and this footage is the perfect example of why. Love Sundays is a channel run by a man named Sean who uploads videos of his solo camping adventures in the UK. In a video he uploaded in September 2022, he shows what happened one night when he camped on the side of the road in Cornwall. Technically, he wasn't supposed to be camping there due to parking regulations, so he made every effort possible to make it seem less obvious that he would be spending the night on the side of the road. Before the sun sets, he goes into his van and starts making dinner, making as little noise as possible to avoid unwanted attention. At around 9 p.m., he turns off the lights and goes to bed. Everything seems to be going just fine, but at around 2 a.m., Sean's night takes a pretty unsettling turn.
I just heard something outside.
Oh, carjacking?
Okay, I think they've gone. They literally tried to get in the van.
That is really creepy.
It wasn't just a knocking, they were trying the handle.
It's not uncommon for solo campers to be asked to move somewhere else in the middle of the night, especially when you're parked somewhere where you're not supposed to be. But in this case, it's highly unlikely that this was a police officer or some other person with the authority to tell him to move, as in these cases, they would almost always knock first and announce themselves verbally. Once they have your attention, they'll ask you to leave, but they won't just walk up to a van on the side of the road and start trying the door handle without announcing their intentions.
Yeah,
it's much more likely that someone was trying to break into Sean's van. Luckily, whoever was trying to break in left after only a few seconds, and Sean wasn't bothered by them again. These kinds of encounters can be extremely disturbing, but luckily Sean woke up the next morning unharmed and was on his way to his next destination shortly after.
That is very creepy, yes, but I still think out of all of these, the most creepiest was this cave one right here. This cave one was absolutely creepy with the chains. Like, oh, dude, being in a cave and trying to spend the night and something in there is like being sketchy. That's the creepiest. I think this guy was an elk. I think this was an elk, to be honest. This one, very creepy. No idea. I have no idea what that one could have been. What was next? I think it was the... Oh, this one. I actually kind of think this was a guy, like, taking photos, seeing who was parked there because he wanted them to move. I could have not be. It could be a guy doing a carjacking, too. Same thing with this one. 50-50, but I think potentially it was a guy trying to do a carjacking. And then this one, some sort of animal outside. It seems like he was fine, though, which was good. So, yeah, the most creepiest out of all of them, definitely, I would say, was the cave one. I would not want to be in that situation. But anyways, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys haven't already, make sure you absolutely smash that like button. Honestly, it's pretty cringy for having. I mean, I'm not upset at you, but like, come on, what are we doing here for real? For real. It's okay. It's okay. Don't be discouraged. Don't be upset. It can be fixed. All you gotta do is hit that subscribe button, because if you haven't, what are you doing, bro? Just subscribe, join the Whiteout Army. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.